fact, in my couple of debates with Michael Shermer, he kept saying, how do you know murder's wrong? I said, Michael, we both agree murder's wrong. Mm-hmm. I can justify why it is, you can't.
One of the things that I get stuck with when I'm in a debate, I'm always debating with the objective moral argument. Mm-hmm. And we'll argue for a while, and I'll tell them, well, when it comes down to it, if God does not exist, then murder isn't really wrong. Mm-hmm. And then the atheist will say, yeah, like they say that's my worldview, that's what I believe in. Murder really isn't wrong. How can I deal with something like that?
You're lying.
Mm.
He already knows it's wrong. He is. He knows it's wrong. You can't convince somebody to know something he already knows.
Right.
In fact, my friend 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔𝗟, who teaches at UT Austin, has written a wonderful book called What We Can't Not Know about this very topic. Says, and he's a professor there, he says, I used to, when students would come to me and say, well, how do we even know murder's wrong? He used to try and convince them murder's wrong, and he finally says, I don't do that anymore. They already know it's wrong. I just say, you don't have any doubt that murder's wrong now, do you? Really? No. But it's not just knowing it's wrong. The point is, there's a standard beyond us that we know, and that knowing that standard is why we know it's wrong. So this is not a question of what we call epistemology. That's a fancy word for how we know things. Mm-hmm. It's a question of ontology. This standard, why does that standard exist? If that standard doesn't exist, then you can't justify saying murder is wrong. You can know it's wrong, and atheists will say, I know right and wrong, to which I'll say, yeah, I know you know right and wrong. Yeah. But you can't justify why murder is wrong, because if there is no God, everything's just a matter of opinion.
Right.
So it's the difference between epistemology and ontology. And normally atheists want to argue over epistemology. In fact, in my couple of debates with Michael Shermer, he kept saying, how do you know murder's wrong? I said, Michael, we both agree murder's wrong. Mm-hmm. I can justify why it is, you can't. Why is it wrong if we're just molecular machines, if we're just moist robots, if there is no purpose to life?
Yeah.
We can't.